After a disappointing display in Colorado, another uphill battle awaits this Irish team stateside against the #1 team in the world.
Two high-profile friendly fixtures to end the season for the Republic of Ireland. Tonight, Denver, Colorado, before they will pack up and head east to Cincinnati in Ohio. Here we go, Dick's Sporting Goods Park, Commerce City in Denver, 1,600 metres above sea level. Current temperature 30 degrees. The 2-on-1, Lavelle's ball in the header. 1-0 US. Coffey on the move, in the box, the shot, goal! Coffey! Sent north, fed in by Cooper and Lavelle, and there's number 3. Oh, Thompson, sweet move. Thompson, shooting, Thompson!
It's the Republic of Ireland against the USA. Kickoff is just after 8 p.m. in the heat of Cincinnati. These two teams have met each other 16 times to date, all on US soil in friendly games, with Ireland yet to earn a victory. Friday's game in Colorado proved difficult for Carla Ward's side, to say the least, and with temperatures soaring and star duo Denise O'Sullivan and Katie McCabe unavailable, it could prove a very tough assignment in Cincinnati for the girls in green. The #1 team in women's world football are now managed by Emma Hayes, the former boss of Chelsea. Testing out some of her younger players alongside the experienced stars, it's safe to say the conveyor belt of US talent continues to roll on. A little bit earlier, Tony O'Donoghue got the thoughts of Jessie Stapleton.
Jess, it's USA versus Ireland, the sequel, I suppose. The first game was tough. Today could prove even tougher.
I think it's always going to be a tough game when you come up against the USA. They're a great team, they're best in the world for a reason, but the conditions with the altitude and stuff in the last game made it hard, but I think after every first sort of leg of a game we always try to be better in the second game, so hopefully we can go out and do that tonight.
What did you do to recover? Because obviously there was a big travel involved as well.
Yeah, I think all the staff help us prep in the best way possible, like with all the recovery, the medical team and stuff like that, so we're all ready to go.
You weren't there to admire them, and nonetheless I'm sure, even looking back at the game, how good America were.
Of course, America are the best team in the world for a reason, but these sort of challenges and experience are only going to make us better and keep us climbing up the ladder.
Best of luck to you today.
Thanks very much.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
Now, welcome along. I am delighted to be in the company of Karen Duggan and Rihanna Jarrett. Karen, they did lose 4-0 on Friday. It was a very difficult day at the office for Carla Ward. What went wrong for this Ireland team?
It's very hard to pinpoint one thing when you are up against an opposition that is just that much better than you. I still think that we're figuring out what this Carla Ward way is, and maybe it's time to kind of revisit how you approach matches like this. I know it's a friendly match and she wants us to get better on the ball, but that was never going to happen. So maybe it would have been better to look at changing formation, banking up, because at times during the Nations League we did look a little bit vulnerable at the back, and that's the thing we need to go back to basics on and make sure that we're doing that right. And I would have thought that maybe that would have been the approach we take into the match, and we didn't quite do that. So yeah, it was very, very difficult, but up against a very, very good USA team.
Yeah, Rihanna, there are some external factors as well. It's really hot. There's altitude. A lot of the Ireland players, most of the Ireland players are out of season. Pretty much all of the US players are in season. How much of a factor have those things been?
Yeah, obviously, I think if you take the heat by itself, it's something that we're not used to. But as you said, so many players that have been out of season for such a long period of time, it is always going to be difficult. But they are professionals at the end of the day. A lot of them are in professional environments, and they would have known that this camp was coming up. It is very difficult for them to prepare, and obviously with the heat, you can't prepare for that until you're thrown into that situation. So to have these two games back to back with that heat is always going to be difficult. But I think, as you said, like the #1 team in the world, I think the distance between the teams unfortunately seems to be just getting a little bit further away. I think the US are in kind of a transition period, but they've got young athletic stars that they just seem to be producing over and over again, and Emma's doing great feeding them into the squad as well.
It's a different type of transition period than most teams are used to. It's almost a strength thing when you see what's coming through, and we're going to get to that in a little while. But Karen, Carla Ward has said that these games are about learning and development. They lost the first game 4-0. We're expecting quite a difficult evening ahead as well for this Ireland team. What do you learn from going to the US, and what's the value of this trip?
I'm finding it hard to figure out what the value of it is, because I know as a player, when we got to go on these friendlies, it was the one that you really wanted to be part of, because you grew up and America were the top team, and it's still the case now. So as a player, it's a great game. But if you're putting your practical hat on, you're looking forward to the Belgian camp, which the qualifier, it's so important. This isn't really a preparatory game for that. So for a friendly, I think you either need to be preparing against a team that's similar for your qualifier, or you need to use it to blood new players in. And we're not doing either of those things. So as a player, great game, great experience. You do learn some things, but really it seems to be just kind of, it doesn't have a huge amount of purpose in terms of our development.
OK, well, we're probably going to know a little bit more about that later on. We're going to cross over to Cincinnati now, though, to Tony O'Donoghue with the team news.
Thanks, Maria. I don't know if you can hear the music in the stadium here. I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody, because the heat is the word of the day. It is absolutely scorching here. You'd want to think, maybe is it even safe to play? Temperatures in the 30s, and the humidity in this city has been immense. And it's something I know that Carla Ward and the Irish players are concerned about. In fact, playing football at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, as lovely as the stadium is kind of dumb at this stage, as we've seen in the World Club Cup. But anyway, to get to the all-important team news, Carla Ward has made 4 changes. I'm sure she probably would make more if she could. Tyler Tolan comes into midfield for Ruesha Littlejohn. Marissa Shiva is in for Megan Connolly. Abby Larkin for Lucy Quinn. And Saoirse Noonan up front instead of Amber Barrett. Now, Courtney Brosnan will wear the captain's armband again, as she did on the occasion of her 50th cap in Denver. The back 4 of Stapleton, Patton, Hayes and Mustaki stays the same. Toland and Shiva together, Murphy on the right, Larkin on the left, with Carusa sort of in the 10 role, and as I say, Saoirse Noonan up front. Erin McLaughlin and Dee Bradley are on the bench. Bradley has been added to the squad. She's interesting. She's been on the radar previously, apparently trained with Vera Powell at one stage. Her father is from Letterkenny. Her mother is from Bishopstown, neither a soccer stronghold, but she's added to the squad. We might see her make a debut for Ireland tonight, because she was in the States, and of course a couple of players that were Denise O'Sullivan and Megan Campbell dropped out. From a USA point of view, they've changed their entire starting 11. That's a luxury that Emma Hayes has at her disposal. So Rose Lavelle, who's a huge local hero here in Cincinnati, she takes her place on the bench. The captain tonight is Lynn Biondolo. She's the second leading American scorer in the current roster. They also have a McGlynn in goal. They have a Ryan up front, an Irish sense of that, all right. But everyone here, from an Irish point of view, worried about the game to come and worried about the conditions, because they are absolutely sweltering.
Those conditions are tough, all right. And Karen, when you look at that team, how are they going to be able to contain that USA attack?
It's a pretty changed USA team, so it'll be difficult to take much from Friday's game. We did struggle in the wider areas. I was surprised we didn't nearly go to a back 5 to kind of counter that, because the USA really keep their width. So I think we'll have to block up a little bit. You know, it'll be a lonely time at times for Saoirse Noonan up top, as it was for Amber Barrett. It's just about trying to contain it, slow it down, because when you let them overpower you and pace you, they're unstoppable at times, the USA. So it's going to be a really difficult ask for everyone. I think in midfield we can probably flatten out a little bit. We allowed runners off the shoulders too much at times. But yeah, it's a huge task for everyone on that field today.
Yeah, it really is. But I suppose in a way, when you look at somebody like Courtney Brosnan, who's getting the honour of being the captain of this team, she's going to be busy, but she's someone that has really grown into the role and relishes nights like this, Rihanna.
Yeah, I think Courtney's been fantastic in recent years. She's really, as you said, grown into that role and grown into herself, and I think it's a testament to her. She went through a bit of a difficult time before she became number 1, but I think you can see from Friday's night's game, she made some really important saves at key times, and she's done that throughout the year, so she's definitely going to be called on today, unfortunately, so hopefully we can have one of her better nights again.
Yeah, and look, when we look at the Ireland in defence in particular, Karen, they were really busy the last night, and our full-backs in particular seem to have difficulty trying to deal with the width that the USA were playing. How tough is it going to be for the likes of Jessie Stapleton and Chloe Mustaki?
It's really difficult, because it's also not the position that they're used to playing at club level the whole time. You know, Chloe started life as a centre mid. Jessie Stapleton, for me, is a centre back. So it was always going to be difficult, especially coming up against Thompson, who was just on fire, and she can run 100 metres in 12 seconds. That's not what you want to be coming up against when you're out of position. So that's why I think there's a big job on for the centre backs to take more responsibility this time. At times, our full backs were left a little bit isolated. They need to be braver and just shift over and give the midfielders a chance to flow back. So it's going to be a lot of work for them, maybe put them out of their comfort zone a bit. But Patton, she needs to step up to a leadership role nearly now as well. Like she's playing WSL, she's one of our higher profile players, so you'd like to see her kind of manage the back line there.
OK, well, there are definitely things to build on. It's time now to get the pre-match thoughts of the Ireland manager, Carla Ward.
Cara, 4 changes for the team tonight. You had to freshen it up as best you could, I guess.
Yeah, look, we'd like to make more changes, but as I mentioned to you the other day, we've got a lot of players on limited minutes, a lot of players that we have to be careful with. So 4 is probably the number that we were certain that we could do. So gives a few fresh legs, but yeah, look, we know the size of the task, and in this ridiculous heat, as I will call it, we know it's going to be tough, but the girls are ready.
Will you change tactic or shape? What is your approach to the game after the first game?
Yeah, look, I think you probably won't see a change in approach from the Nations League in the first game, purely for the first opening period anyway, because we want to continue to build on, and look, we've really deep dived into what we needed to improve, and we want to see those bits come to life. There will be, of course, you saw physically, everybody saw, come 55 minutes, in these conditions, it was difficult. So you'll probably see a change in shape and a change in personnel when we can make changes. So, yeah, you might see a couple of different ways of playing tonight.
We've seen in the World Club Cup Championships that's on at the moment, the Chelsea manager complaining about playing in these sort of conditions. I mean, it really is tough on both sides, obviously, but they're in season, you're not. Are you concerned about the temperatures, the humidity?
Absolutely. Look, I would be lying if I said no. I'm not concerned. Of course I am. I think, not just Chelsea manager, but many people have come out in this last couple of weeks that have played here and talked about it being dangerous. I think we can only do what we can do. What we can do is make sure that, there's certain ways that we can get players breaks and drinks on board, but we're going to talk to them now as well about additional drinks breaks. It's going to be important. Look, these girls are also out of season. We're not just talking about professional footballers that are still in season, that have come off the back of seasons. These have been, some of them, off the ball from May 4th. So we have to really look after them as people, and I keep saying that we've got to get through this now unscathed, because that's going to be important from a personal point of view and a physical point of view. But what another opportunity to play against the very best.
Are you seeing this as sort of damage limitation?
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. We've looked at certain matrix and data we've talked about with the players and what we want to improve, certain areas we want to tighten up from the other day. First half I thought we were very good out of possession, but then we blew up and the gap started opening up. It was very difficult to maintain that, and it would be difficult to maintain that with the players in season against the US, let alone out of season and with these sorts of conditions. So what we're trying to look at, rather than damage limitation, is how can we improve those areas from the other night, and then how can we as a staff group help the players, particularly in that second half, with maybe a change of shape that will give us extra bodies in areas that we know we're going to need.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Cheers, Cara. Thanks so much. Best of luck.
It feels like, even listening to Carla Ward, Karen, that she knows that it's going to be a very difficult night at the office. Like, we know playing in heat like that, you're going to need a bench, but it doesn't sound like has a lot of options there. Yeah, you're right. There's a bit of an air of inevitability about it, but yeah, it's kind of disappointing to hear that she doesn't see that there's a huge amount of options. Like, it is a friendly game. You bring people who are fit, who you can have a look at and give game time to. So to be bringing players who are on limited minutes in an off-season friendly, it's a bit of a strange call on her when you could use this to blood new players. Obviously, she's bringing in Dee Bradley to have a look, and that's one new name to us. But yeah, there was an opportunity there, I think, missed. Do you think that there's players that she could have brought that are playing in the League of Ireland, or players that you'd know? Yeah, I think from the under-19 setup, some that have graduated out of there. Obviously, I know the Peamount girls quite well that have been around the squad, Jess Fitzgerald, Ellen Dolan and the likes, and even Leo O'Leary, who's gone over to Bristol. It would be good to see someone like her in the environment. Just maybe they're not ready now, but these are the opportunities that we want to be blooding players. We want to be bringing girls through the league, through the underage setup, and this is the type of opportunity and it would stand to them massively. Rihanna, you're involved at underage level as a coach. Are there players that you feel could have been brought to the USA for this trip?
I think we've been speaking about it for a long time, that we need to be looking at the future, and obviously now we're in a process where we're building towards Brazil, the World Cup in 27. So I think what Karen's saying is absolutely right, that it's disappointing that we aren't giving these young players opportunities. There's the 19 squad from last year, they went to the Euros, like they went to the finals campaign, and that's something that we haven't done for many years. So there are some quality players within that group. But in contrast, you look at the USA being able to change their whole 11 coming into this second game, like that's just the difference between the two squads and the two nations.
Yeah, I guess we kind of know where we need to get to. Karen, you've played against the USA, you've played over there. It's going to be so hot. You can hear Carla Ward, her concern about how the players' bodies are going to be able to deal with it. A lot of them are out of season. How difficult is it going to be?
Yeah, it's difficult when you're in season. It's going to be even harder for everyone out of season. Like Rihanna said, they are all professionals. They would have prepared well for this camp. The attitude seems to be, like you said, there's an acceptance of what's to come, which we don't really love to hear. Everyone is going to be going out there wanting to prove themselves against the best, but it is going to be a really, really tough task.
Yeah, absolutely, it really is. OK, well, Colorado may have been a night to forget for many Irish players, but for the team's newest recruit, Erin Healy, it was a night to remember. The striker made her debut for the girls in green off the bench, and she sat down with Tony to speak about what it meant to her.
See Erin Healy ready to come on here.
Big moment for San Diego born Erin Healy, her grandfather from Clones in County Monaghan.
Erin, first of all, I just want to say congratulations on making your debut for Ireland against the USA. Tell me what that felt like.
Yeah, I mean, it was an unreal experience just stepping out onto that field wearing this jersey. It's just an honor and just a prideful moment. But I definitely tried to take it all in as much as you can, but it was an unreal experience.
USA were very, very impressive, weren't they?
They're number one for a reason, right? They are just a powerhouse of a team. And we knew that. We knew what we were getting ourselves into, and we were excited to step up to this challenge.
When you were growing up, I mean, USA were then the world's #1 team as well.
Exactly.
I mean, you must have had heroes, role models. Rose Lavelle, for example. I mean,
she's one of my role models and someone I've always looked up to and try to play like her. So it was really cool to just see her out on the field.
Was Irishness a part of your kind of upbringing in a sense? Did you feel some sort of connection to Ireland?
Yes, definitely. My grandfather was a part of my life and my soccer career. He was always around, always cheering me on and taking me to trainings here and there. And now that I get to play for Ireland, it's just something that I'm super proud of, and I can definitely, I guess, play for him.
Can you imagine what Hughie Maguire must have been thinking up there, watching you in Denver the other night?
I know. I was thinking about him and how, I guess, proud he would be.
You were involved in the squads for the Turkey and Slovenia games, so what was that like?
Yeah, it's been a great few camps. I really have enjoyed it. It's definitely a learning experience and a chance for me to grow. I've never been in an environment like this, and to be surrounded by such amazing players and such just talented girls and everything. So
and interesting characters.
Definitely, of course, but it's cool to be around and cool just to see how everything works.
What's your hope for Sunday then? Maybe to start?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think I'm definitely just open for anything and going to put my best foot forward and try my best regardless of whatever comes.
Congratulations once again on making your debut, and here's to many more appearances for you in the green shirt of Ireland.
Yes, thank you so much.
Hello, darlings. Futuristic scooters, old school website. Relax. Smart AI will sort this. Design, text, images, instantly generated for your business. Your digital partner, Ionos.
Now, welcome back. A big game to come in Cincinnati. The fans are out in force, some Irish ones and some American ones as well, to see the #1 team in the world. And Rose Lavelle, who is from Cincinnati, she isn't starting, but no doubt she will get on at some stage. We're hoping it won't be as tough a night as it was on Friday, Karen, but it was a very difficult game for everyone who played in it. They conceded 4 goals, and 4 good goals as well. Let's have a look at them.
Yeah, they were really, really excellent goals. The first one by Patterson. Ireland be a bit disappointed. They didn't react quickly. I'm not sure did Rusha know which player she was supposed to go to, but taking nothing away from the header, it's powerful. There was great pace on the ball from Lavelle there on her weaker foot. Similarly, these are kind of positions that we need to tidy up in, giving away throws in our own half. But again, Thompson comes inside this time. She was torturing everyone on the wing all game, but slipped a lovely ball through to Coffey there, and a good finish. And just the injection of pace that they can give, like Coffey comes from deep in midfield. She's one of their deeper line midfields. There's 4 of us around her. Could we press her quicker? Probably. But again, taking nothing away from the quality of it. And again, this is just brilliant. But it's very straightforward as well. They are direct, their pace and their power, like they make it work for them really, really well. A simple ball, slip inside, and again, winger comes in this time. Cooper slips it to Senator and the cross then to Lavelle. And I suppose the rest of the goals were very good team goals, but this is probably the pick of the bunch, and probably the biggest talking point from the game was Alicia Thompson. Great individual effort, just her pace. Again, we're afraid to go to her. We need to close her down quicker. We need to get bodies back, and that's what we spoke about, the centre-backs helping the full-backs out today and taking responsibility while she's not going to be on the pitch. It'll be similar. They'll keep their width, they'll go at us, and she just squares you up and goes at you. It's very little you can do unless you're doubling up, so it's going to be a big night for the full-backs again, I'd imagine.
And Alyssa Thompson has a sister as well, Giselle, which is frightening when you think that there's two of them. And she is on right back, I think, and then Alicia plays up top. But they're a phenomenal team. But Ireland made it kind of easy for them as well, Rihanna, didn't they? They were very much outplayed. I think the USA had 26 shots, Ireland just 2. So a huge amount of work to be done.
Yeah, I think we spoke about the brilliance of the US team, but we were very sloppy in possession at times. I know it was hard work playing against them and their constant threat, and you talk about how much attempts they had on our goal, and we just need to find a little bit of respite and a little bit of quality when we are in possession. We're playing deep here and we're playing ourselves into trouble. We're allowing the US to be on the front foot, and it's when we're turning the ball over in those sort of positions, they're on the front foot, then they're running at our back line. That's where our fullbacks are getting in trouble. Our back line are constantly retreating, and unfortunately with the pace and power and athleticism, especially in central areas as well, we just don't have the legs at times to recover, and our back line is being overloaded. And one or two times we did manage to get out of our half. There was just nothing to show for it in that final third. You can see the difference between the numbers in the box and the runners towards our goal in comparison.
I think if Carla wants us to keep the ball better, we need to get better at playing in tight areas and supporting each other. And it was like we didn't quite know how to do that, get the patterns going in midfield. We were a little bit disjointed, a little bit not afraid maybe to get on the ball, but you know, like that, we needed respite, and that's when you need leaders on the pitch to step up and take responsibility. But without Katie and Denise, you do notice that kind of gap in just responsibility taken in those moments, and it's hard to make good decisions when you are chasing for so long. But again, I'm sure that's one of the areas that Carla Ward has touched on in the interim between the two games.
I feel it's really important to keep saying that they are the best team in the world and they have the best players in the world, and one of those is Alyssa Thompson. She was so dangerous. She's not starting today, but you can see what the USA are doing with the wide areas and how they want to play, Anna.
Yeah, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. They could see that from early on in the game that she was keeping her width, she was stretching our back line, and any given opportunity they were getting the ball out to her. But she's so confident and so comfortable with the ball at her feet, the small changes of direction. I felt sorry for our fullbacks, especially Jessie on that right hand side. I don't think that there was much to do, as we've spoken about the centre backs not getting over to support, but she just gets her head up. She just wants to drive. She just wants to get you retreating towards your own box, and as we've seen in the goals clips, she's exceptional in those areas. We couldn't help but give her the time and space and respect, but unfortunately they're going to punish you at that level, and that's exactly what Alyssa Thompson did.
Yeah, she's phenomenal, and like it's one thing we kind of were chatting about earlier as well, the difference having someone with that pace on the pitch can do. It's not something that we have a huge amount of in this current squad, so maybe that's something we look at. And also we need to look at how we're developing fullbacks. We've spoken about it after the Wales camp. Anya O'Gorman started life as a striker, and we were using her as a fullback for a long time. So it needs to be an area of concentration underage as well, and bringing players through. Oftentimes it's a centre mid who's being converted and stuff like that, but no one wants to be a Gary Neville, is that it? But
I think you were for a while for Ireland.
I was as well, yeah, which will tell you, and I'm not a fullback. So yeah, we're kind of, it's a bit patchwork there sometimes in the fullback position. It's something for us to think about, definitely.
Yeah, definitely, and we've had that conversation before, so it's not a new problem at all. Give us a prediction, Rihanna.
It's going to be difficult. I think that we need to try and keep composure and keep them out early doors, but I do see them have a couple of goals in them, even with the different starting 11, and the bench that they have to come on as well is dangerous.
Yeah, I think the bench will be a huge factor, even if this team isn't used to playing together. They're going to be out to impress. They're going to drive at Ireland, and then they will have quality to bring off the bench when we start to lose our legs. So I would be surprised if we got anything out of the game, but like you say, we might take a different approach, be safe, and I think if we keep it early doors, we can grow into the game a little bit more than we did on Friday.
And Rihanna, from a player's perspective, you're going out playing this team after Friday night, take into account the conditions as well and the focus now that's on this match. Psychologically, will it be difficult for these players to meet the levels that they need to?
I don't think so. I think that one thing is they are used to playing 2 games in a window, so that is something that does stand to them. It's no longer a case of where they've only got 1 game across 10 days. I know the level and the expectations and the team that are going up is completely different, but I think they're professionals, they're used to it, and sometimes the quick turnaround is you know exactly what went wrong at times, and we've seen kind of previously in the Nations League, if you think about, they were able to make some slight changes in the short couple of days. Now it's going to be a completely different task against the #1 team in the world, but I do hope that we see even some better defending in wide areas. I think would be a success if we see that.
And Karen, if we had Katie and Denise, would it make a big difference?
I think in those moments where we do have possession and making better decisions, they're used to playing at that higher kind of level to the rest of them, so under the same kind of pressure that the girls will be under, leadership across the pitch, all of this makes a huge difference, and they make the people around them better. So there is a bit of a gulf there, but I think it would make a substantial difference to the end result? Probably not.
OK, well, I'm looking forward to see how this all goes. We're going to join our commentary team now of Anya Gorman and Des Curran.
Yes, thank you, Marie. Given a bit of a chasing in the altitude of Colorado, the Republic of Ireland have dusted themselves down and headed east to go again against the world #1. The US impressive runaway winners on Thursday night in Commerce City as Emma Hayes looked to youth and the next generation, while Carla Ward was left to reflect on a punishing outing and a 4-0 defeat. Now it is the soaring temperatures of Cincinnati, Ohio, and the hope to turn in a better performance in the final game before October's Nations League playoff against Belgium. Fantastic stadium. Pitch looks in great condition, but it is the temperatures that will be a factor again, you feel, particularly for the Republic of Ireland. Let's see how they handle those. Ahead of kick-off in Cincinnati, we will take the anthems.
Please remain standing for the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by Dana Hill.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we launched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
The Star Spangled Banner, that's got the home fans going. And after what happens out west on Thursday, they will be hoping for another convincing US performance here. Let's bring in the teams. Emma Hayes using this window to its fullest, making the full 11 changes after handing out 21 debuts in her short tenure to date. There's another 2 today with Izzy Rodriguez of the current NWSL leaders Kansas City Current and Sam Meza of Seattle Reign coming in. The highly rated Croy Bethune underwent knee surgery after last year's Olympic gold in Paris, but is now back in the international fold. Captain Lee Biondolo wins her 82nd cap. That is 30 more than the other 10 starters combined. What of Ireland? Well, Carla Ward has been checking on the energy levels these last couple of days. 4 changes here with Tyler Tolan, Marissa Shiva, Abby Larkin and Saoirse Noonan in for Rusha Littlejohn, Megan Connolly, Lucy Quinn and Amber Barrett are all dropped to the bench. 7 of the 11 with strong connections to the US, either through birth or the college system. Erin McLaughlin and Dee Bradley, incidentally, are both named on the bench, having been called up after the first game in Colorado. So almost set to go. Courtney Brosnan wearing the armband again in the absences of Katie McCabe and Denise O'Sullivan. Janishka Caban of Puerto Rico will have the whistle. It's a very interesting approach from Emma Hayes. She knows off the back of long seasons the European players, the really high-profile American international players like Lindsay Heaps or Horn, as we knew her, Crystal Dunn, won't be involved. She's let them recover and recuperate. After that, you've got the likes of Mallory Swanson and Sophia Wilson, or Sophia Smith, pregnant at the moment, Trinity Rodman injured, Emily Fox, a teammate of Katie McCabe's at Arsenal, also not featuring. She's cast the net far and wide here after the disappointment of the last World Cup, Anya, and these young players are coming in and making a mark.
Absolutely, Des, and we've seen it on Thursday, Friday morning over here in Ireland, that the impact the young players made. Alicia Thompson was unbelievable. I think Jess Stapleton will be happy not to see her on the team sheet tonight, and I think it's a huge advantage Emma Hayes has these players at her disposal, and she's not afraid to give them a try. As you can see, another 2 debuts tonight in Meza and Rodriguez, who we think will feature at left back. Look, a really tough task for Ireland tonight. For me, on Friday, they neither looked like they were going for the game or defended amazingly. So hopefully they've learned from that, and we hope to get more out of the game. We're going to have to nullify them attacks. They'll still try get down them wide areas. Ward has alluded to that they're going to change shape at some stage through the game. I probably would have changed shape at half-time in the first game and gone to a back 5 just to nullify them wide areas. But look, I think it's a big challenge for the girls, and one they'll be looking forward to.
Yeah, can the Republic of Ireland get Saoirse Noonan into those goal-scoring positions? That was an issue in the first game. Sam Meza making her debut, a star all the way up through at underage. With so much talent. You look back to Colorado, it was the first time that US front 3 of Cooper Santor and Alyssa Thompson had started together. All 3 so effective. All 3 coming from the under-20 World Cup side of 2022, along with Lily Reel, the left back. And of that 17 who saw action in the first game, 4 teenagers and just 5 of the age of 25. Olympic gold last year went some way towards making up for the disappointments of the last World Cup, but they didn't get past the round of 16. First time they hadn't got to a semi-final or better, and that hurt, and 4 years to wait to make amends.
Absolutely. If anyone was ever going to come in and make this team more efficient, it was going to be Emma Hayes. But straight away, like we seen them warm up there, as we thought that America might go to a back 3, which it looks like they have done. That's something I suppose Emma Hayes may be experimenting with going into the World Cup and trying to bring a different dynamic to her team.
I'm sure Emma Hayes will have a very close eye in the upcoming European Championships as well.
As will Ireland, the group of Belgium, Spain, Portugal and Italy kicking off on Thursday.
Here is Emily Murphy. Had good time at college in the US. Broken up. Here is Shiva. Dispossessed. Ireland in that position where if you don't have much possession and in these sweltering playing conditions, how much can you go hunting that ball out to the right hand side? Emma Sears of Racing Louisville. Just goes to show, not that she's a senior international, having made her debut and scored last October against Iceland. You don't have to be a first-round draft pick. She was the final pick in the second round last year. Had a great debut, 5 goals. She's already surpassed that this season. Ireland win it back. Not for long, there's Biondolo. And Tyler Tolan trying to make the tackle, and a pattern eventually clears. And the piece is picked up by 18-year-old Jordan Bugg. Her debut in Colorado, her first senior start here. That one intercepted by Abby Larkin, but the US back on it again. On the right-hand side, Emily Sams slips it down the line. And Ireland with numbers back in the penalty box to diffuse the danger for now. Larkin, the drive past Sams, who used her physicality. Put herself between Larkin and the ball. Meza, Larkin's in again. Now needs a little bit of support. Certainly brought a bit of fight, Abby Larkin, when she was introduced off the bench in the first game.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously off a good performance against Slovenia, down in Park ny Queeve as well. Abby Larkin started the game brightly here and wins the team a free kick, and these moments are invaluable for Ireland.
Caitlin Hayes started that game against Slovenia. The loss of Aoife Mannion just forced a little bit of a reshuffle. Jessie Stapleton going out to right back, where she's been for both of the games here. Nice layoff from Noonan, and Carusa taken out by a fairly aggressive challenge from Tara McKeown.
Good start for Ireland. I think that'll be our game plan as well. Can we hit Noonan to hold it up and then get Shiva and Carusa into them space in the wide areas that the fullbacks leave?
We've seen Kira Carusa in the last few games just operating that little more withdrawn role behind a centre forward, and has looked good in it. As you said, the physical presence of Saoirse Noonan up there might be a decent weapon. Chloe Mustaki, cap number 10, to swing this one in. Patton's gone right around the back, might be offside. Seemed to go a little bit early, couldn't control the header anyway, but as you said, a positive start from Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely, and we, you know, as usual, the set pieces are key areas for us, and even more tonight with the heat against the best team in the world. Emma Hayes looking quite relaxed.
Incredible success with Chelsea. 12 years, 7 WSL titles, 5 FA Cups, 2 League Cups. The one itch that was left behind was the Champions League. Lost the 21 final pretty heavily to Barcelona. But it's such a big job to get this one. The levels of expectancy are so high. She's cast her net far and wide to create that squad depth. World Cup coming up in Brazil in 2027. And they will be right up there amongst the favourites, no doubt. Meza, Larkin into the tackle quickly again. Here goes Moultrie. Tracked back by Emily Murphy. All the way back now with Jordan Bugg. Quite a few of the current squad that Emma Hayes has here were at the Under-20 World Cup last year, where they got to the semi-finals.
Good start for Ireland. You can just see we're gone into that low block early doors and not even any space for them to expose in behind us.
Sams for Sears, and the pressure there quickly. Larkin and Mustaki together. Sams looking for movement. Ireland again hunting in numbers. Mustaki and Larkin looking to go inside early to Shiva. And this is where the US are looking dangerous. Lynn Biondolo out to that far side. Ryan works it on one more and then lifted into the penalty area, and Brosnan can get her hands on it. Ball in from Rodriguez, not all it might have been. And as one of those, Rodriguez coming in to make her debut tonight. So much competition for places in the squad, let alone the team.
Yeah, absolutely, and that brings their own pressure, but means that each and every player in the US is going to be on it tonight to try to get into that squad.
Hayes whips that one out to Mustaki. Ohio-born Chloe Mustaki, so a big night for her. Sams will take it back again. Calm piece of defending, and then Jordan Bugg over to that far side to Tara McKeown. Meza looks to be the one operating as that link in midfield. So Sam Coffey of the Portland Thorns turned in a dominant performance in that area in the first game.
And got her name on the score sheet too with that deep run from midfield.
Different challenge for Jessie Stapleton, at least from the start tonight. Ireland aggressive in these early minutes as well. Little too much so for the referee's liking on that occasion. Jordan Bugg, who is the youngest in the squad, heading forward for this one, made her senior professional footballing debut less than a year ago. Trained with San Diego while at high school, and ever present as a starter for Seattle Reign this season. Rodriguez checks that line. Moultrie puts it in there. Dangerous ball as well. And it just sliced off Saoirse Noonan. Fortunately, no harm done as Brosnan can get her close in it again.
Yeah, it was a decent ball in across the box, and Saoirse Noonan just goes clear. It actually comes off her shin guard, and Courtney Brosnan's there to for an easy collect.
Such a memorable return to the international fold for Saoirse Noonan in the last camp, particularly that winning goal against Slovenia down in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, off the back of an outstanding goal-laden season with Celtic. And a pattern for Stapleton, inside to Toland. Emily Murphy pressures there quickly, and Rodriguez goes early into Biondolo looking for Ryan. Stapleton reacted well, and good hold-up play from Carusa. Shiva stabs it onto Mustaki. Larkin looking to work that give and go. The US not hanging around, getting the ball back in play quickly.
Yeah, the US will be looking to play at a tempo, get the ball back into play quickly. See her shape there now with Tyler Toland and Marissa Shiva just sitting in front of her back four.
Here is Ryan. Bugg. Sams, the top defender in the NWSL last season in Orlando Pride's title win, Emily Sams. McKeown. Put a bit of pace on that one. Stapleton can play it away to halfway. Picked up by Moultrie. He's got a big physical presence, despite the fact she's still just 19, Olivia Moultrie. Incredibly, her talent was spotted so young that at the age of 11 she was offered a place at college with the North Carolina Tar Heels, a scholarship, when she reached the requisite age.
And big boost to fill in there as well, Des, playing in replace of Rose Lavelle.
Lavelle, the hometown hero, I'm sure we'll see her at some point tonight. The US work it neatly. Biondolo, lovely ball out to the right-hand side. A chance here for Sears to put a dangerous ball in, which she does, and volleyed in by Lynn Biondolo. Well, as Lynn Williams, she scored goal after goal. Well, as Lynn Biondolo now, that is her 25th for the national team. And the one really experienced head in this starting 11, involved in the conception and the execution here.
Yeah, we just got exposed down this left-hand side. We go into press. Chloe Mustaki, great little ball around the corner into Sears. Takes a touch. Biondolo, the most experienced player for the US on the pitch, and she just follows into the roof of the net and gives Courtney Brosnan no chance.
Lovely little layoff, and then sprinted into the penalty area. Didn't go too far though, held her ground as Ireland were retreating to make sure she was in that space. Fantastic pick out from Sears.
Yeah, great vision by
beautifully
Sears.
cushioned volley.
See her at the edge of the 6-yard box. And Des, this is why we allude back to the back five. It's them spaces and them wide areas that the US are looking to exploit. And they're so fast and so powerful and so good at exploiting space that's where we need to nullify them.
And she made a name for herself on her debut back in 2016 against Switzerland. She was less than a minute on the pitch when she opened her count. And that is the 24th goal she has added since. When you consider the quality of player not available to Emma Hayes at the moment in that top three, Swanson, Rodman, Wilson, and that is what you call depth. Maitland Hayes retreating, being tracked by Bethune. Mustaki Hayes to play it away, picked up by Meza though. Hayes puts more on it this time. Noonan and Larkin. Oh, beautifully done by Abby Larkin. Marissa Shiva. Noonan again, strong in holding off Bug. Ireland struggling to find that ball forward though. Sent away by Brosnan. Larkin. Looking for that little back heel again. And gets the decision her way.
Yeah,
it's a lovely piece of skill.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the goal again. Just the ball hung up. Biondolo coming in, edge of the 6-yard box. And finishes it well with the instep. Yeah, Abby Larkin started the game sharp, Des, hasn't she? She's won some good free kicks, throw-ins, looks sharp.
Biondolo chasing again here. She holds the record, 82 goals in the history of the NWSL. Showed her finishing prowess there. And the US on the front foot again. Ryan trying to force her way beyond that Irish defence. Sliding into clear Jessie Stapleton.
Yeah, good recovery run by Jessie Stapleton. Anna Patton gives the ball away. And I think it's key for us, look, we want a bit of rest and play when we have possession, but we can't play slowly. If we play slowly, they're just going to win ball back. We need to have more tempo, and then can we exploit the space?
And there will be water breaks, welcome water breaks. Biondolo for Rodriguez. Tried to find the return ball, Stapleton to clear again. Picked up by McKeown. Have to figure there's an Irish connection there as well. Bug. It wasn't easy for Mustaki with the considerable presence of Sears on her blind side. And Sears again using that strength to roll Mustaki, looking to provide a second for the US, Emma Sears. Meza, neat and tidy. And Larkin snapping into the tackle, going to be pulled back for it though.
Yeah, Sears looks strong and powerful down that right-hand side as well, Des. Caitlin Hayes taking up that good position in the box, doing what she does best, just blocking the cross coming in at the front post.
Two coaches who know each other very well from the WSL days, and indeed from that Olympic goal for the US when Carla Ward was an opposition scout for Emma Hayes. And it's that double act over the set piece again, the right foot of Moultrie or the left of Izzy Rodriguez. Rodriguez this time, flat delivery, oh, just needed a touch, and Biondolo wasn't a million miles away from providing one. Such a tempting delivery. Mustaki. And Larkin pressurised again. Emily Sams taking the approach. She doesn't want to let Abby Larkin get turned. Sams, who was part of the Olympic goal-winning squad, picked up her medal without having made her debut, which only came last October. Tara McKeown. Going through this US squad when it was announced, what strikes you as well is the versatility of all these players at club level. You see many of them playing at 2 or 3 positions throughout a season, including Rodriguez here.
Absolutely, Des. They can play most of them across the back line, quite flexible, can play in the wing back roles.
And just look at it athletically as well, what the college system in the US offers them. And Anna Patton, thinking the free kick was going to be given against her, was retreating. Puzzled but happy to see the referee point in the opposite direction. See the skill there from McKeown. She was actually a striker before she was converted just a couple of years ago. Speaking of players who play in multiple positions. But Biendolo, the biggest moment of the game so far. 32 years of age now, title winner 4 or 5 times now domestically, a few different clubs. The NWSL as a whole will be happy with the squad of 25 here, represented by Naomi Girma, the only one based abroad with Chelsea. But of the 14 NWSL clubs, 10 of them represented in this current squad. The retirements in recent years of the goalkeeper Alyssa Nair, over 100 caps, Julie Ertz over 100 caps, Alex Morgan over 200 caps, as had Becky Sauerbraun. Double World Cup winning days under Jill Ellis of 15 and 19. All those players playing such huge parts in it. As time moves on, squads need refreshing. Moultrie. Looking to work the 1-2 with Bethune, and Moultrie took it on. It's come out to the right-hand side. Another cross for Ireland to defend, and again it's Hayes at that near post. Not for the first time. Well positioned, Caitlin Hayes.
Yeah, Caitlin Hayes did it time and time again on Friday. Just defended really, really well at that front post.
Distracted by the runners, getting herself in the right position. Another ball in, this time from Biendolo. Carusa, edge of her own penalty area. And Mustaki, well, anywhere will do. Moultrie. Let's start again with Jordan Bugg, across to McKeown. Sams puts a bit of zip on that one. Biendolo looking for that little link again with Sears, who wasn't quite on the same wavelength that time. For Carla Ward, the cards didn't exactly fall in her favour. If you're coming to face the US, you want to be choosing from a full deck.
Yeah,
Decision to give Katie McCabe a little bit of time off after such a long season, successful season with Arsenal. But then you're not planning on losing Denise O'Sullivan.
Yeah, and Denise is a big loss in midfield, isn't she? Her legs out of possession, her quality in possession.
A little touch from Bethune. And Stapleton did brilliantly. She was wrong side for a second, but remedied that. Moultrie, not much space around the edge of the area. Larkin trusting her touch. Very calmly done by Abby Larkin. The issue for Ireland, she's doing good work, but doing it deep inside her own half.
Yeah, we're playing in the wrong areas, I think, Des, at times.
Emma Sears gets to the end line again, another cross in, once again. Ireland defending that near post area, this time Anna Patton. Sams. Moultrie. Plenty going through the 19-year-old. Bugg. Moultrie again. Portland Thorns debut at the age of 15. And there she is, linking it all together once more. Bethune. Sams. Moultrie. Dangerous ball in again. Stapleton with the block. Here's Croy Bethune. Just didn't look as comfortable maybe on her left-hand side.
Good defended by Jess Stapleton in the box there. Des got on the right side of Bethune. Sears just plays it back in across the goal, and that's Anna Patton defending at the front post. More toward the ball in, and Jess Stapleton gets across to make the block. Again, Des are causing us trouble. I say it time and time again in them wide areas, especially down our left-hand side at the moment. And when we're winning the ball back, we're trying to play in really, really tight areas, and the US are just not allowing us that. I think we have to overplay it into channels.
Always done through these successful years, had strength in those wide areas, had pace in those wide areas, and big players as well. You think of Alex Morgan, maybe before she went more centrally, Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah, as long as I can remember Des playing America, they're always looking to get to them end lines and pull balls back and get bodies in the box.
Past the midway point of the first half, a defensive shift again from the Republic of Ireland. No real choice in the matter. Meza, Moultrie, play off from Bethune, the cross coming in from Sam, Stapleton under pressure. A little shove in the back. Means that one will be chalked off. Now Jessie Stapleton, maybe with those centre-half instincts, covers in well. Got herself in the right position again.
Good little ball in by Sam's, just hung up. Jess Stapleton gets really, really well in there on the right side of Ryan and clear, forces the foul.
Yeah, a little nudge in the back from Yasmin Ryan.
And we know Jess Stapleton, she's naturally a centre back, and I think that's her best position. I think that's why this team calls for it, that back three with the personnel we have available. Back five would be the case tonight.
Ryan into the tackle with Toland. Noonan climbing, but there is Meza. Pick up the pieces again. The Olympic goal last year was remarkable, given that it was Emma Hayes' 10th game in charge. She had a run of friendlies before heading to the Olympics. An offside flag here. US looking to set something up on the edge of the box. Bethune will have another go. Got that one better. Rodriguez up in the air. Big shot from Stapleton. Challenging with Ryan. Ryan again. It showed in the Olympics with Emma Hayes that they won the final, semi-final and quarter-final all by a goal to nil, two of them in added time. They're going to have the water break here now, but she just brought that grit into the team as well. You would think Emma Hayes, the ability to win the tight games. With this a game they are again in full control of, but from an Irish point of view, just a goal to nil. The one goal conceded to Lynn Biondolo 11 minutes in.
Yeah, Des, has been a tough opening to the game. I think Ireland are pinned back in our own half, in and around our box, forced already to put bodies on the line, try block crosses, but I think America are still getting the better of us in them wide areas. And when we get the ball, what is our plan? We're trying to play in tight areas, triangles, and we can't get out of triangles. Can we skip their press? And even if we lose the ball as a higher of the pitch, can we? Amber Barrett did it really well early in the game. On Friday, she won fouls. Can we win throw-ins? Look, I've been there. It's really, really difficult conditions. It's tiring when you don't see a lot of the ball. But then when you can do it, what is our plan?
Well, these are important minutes for Carla Ward and for Alan Mahan and Emma Byrne. They've got to try and find some way to get hold of the ball here, just to take the pressure off the defence. Maybe easier said than done.
This US team, no matter who's played, they look well prepared. There's a lot of fluidity through the team. You can even see their set pieces are well prepared. Done a lot of work on the training ground, and that's what we expect from a manager like Emma Hayes, with the players, the quality of players she has at her disposal.
And for the Irish players, that game down in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, we saw Abby Larkin and Emily Murphy on the front foot, and how impressive they were, but they just haven't had the opportunity.
Yeah, maybe at times instead of Abby coming to get the ball, can she actually be that runner in behind to stretch the play a little bit? Just give them something to think about, ask them some questions.
Well, these are the games that Carla Ward has said they want to be playing at this level more often, to play the top teams in the world and see what you can get out of it. You think back to that group with England, France and Sweden when they were in Ireland with the teams ranked 2nd, 3rd and 6th in the world. The heaviest defeat, albeit a lot of defensive games as well, there was conceding 3 to Sweden. And then there is a significant drop in the levels between a League A and a League B in the Nations League. Ireland will be hoping that the Belgium double header coming up in the autumn might get them back up to the top tier. Carusa cleverly letting the ball do the work, letting it run across her body, and in doing so took out 3 US players there. Larkin, and again you can see how tight Sams gets to her.
Abby Larkin does well again, just to win a free kick.
Toland, oh, they've given it away cheaply. And there goes Bethune, backed up by Moultrie and Ryan. Biondolo at the focal point of the attack again. Yasmin Ryan looking to work something with Bethune, and still going Yasmin Ryan. Big block coming in the end from Chloe Mustaki. And Yasmin Ryan in her 11th cap, hunting her first US goal. Managed to wriggle her way into a shooting position.
Yeah, good intricate play by America through the middle. Tunia again, linking up. But I think they got rode a little bit of luck there. Ryan barreling through, but it comes back in then. And I think Chloe Mustaki made an outstanding block. But she has to get so narrow. And then that just makes us a little bit vulnerable in the wide areas to protect the goal.
And this, if they're playing out short, they have to trust themselves in those areas to get the passes to their intended target. Good straight from Emily Murphy, and a little drop of the shoulder. She's surging away from Meza here. Options left and right. Tried to go out to Carusa. The US get a vital touch on that, but better from the Republic of Ireland, and Emily Murphy in particular. First time she's had a chance with the ball at her feet.
Good drive by Murphy Des, and I think we're actually in a 4v3 situation, and they're the moments that we need to make count against opposition that are the best in the world.
College with the North Carolina Tar Heels in Wake Forest. Emily Murphy, before turning up at the start of the year at Newcastle, where she'd a good second half of that season. And that will hold up again for Emma Sears, who's caused plenty of issues down this side. Mustaki reading her this time. Emily Sams takes it back once more. Biondolo loose from her that time. Hayes. One goes straight to Tara McKeown. Meza in a little pocket of space. Goes into feet. US will be out again on Wednesday in Washington against Canada, ranked 8 in the world, so no love lost between those two nations either.
That's a rival game, isn't it, Des? That'll be a big one for them.
You can imagine the likes of Naomi Gurm, Emily Sonnet and Sam Coffey, Rose Lavelle will all be in for that one. Moultrie. US going through the gears again. Here's the cross. Mustaki at the back post to head away. Shiva. Asking a lot of Chloe Mustaki there. Biondolo. Conditions where you have to be so careful and possessive in possession, not to give the ball away cheaply.
It's difficult, Des, when you're so deep.
Good close control from Bethune under pressure from Carusa. Just her 4th cap, would have had more but for knee surgery after the Olympics last year, Croy Bethune.
Yeah, very impressed with Bethune, Meza, Moultrie in that midfield, and just the intricate play and the movement.
Excellent from Emily Murphy, again has that confidence to take defenders on. Runs into a big hit though from Tara McKeown. Back with Jordan Bug. Parents both college athletes at Eastern Kentucky. Jordan Bug has every chance she was going to head down that road. To be at the heart of the US defence at the age of 18. Lovely weighted ball. Sears on the move again. The cross coming in towards the back, and well, Yasmin Ryan didn't quite have the touch of Biondolo earlier.
Great little ball down the line, and Sears, you can see her parents in that space as well. She just hangs a nice one up, great vision, and then Ryan just can't get the connection, thankfully for Ireland.
Well, the service from Sears from that right-hand side has been a joy to watch, really, if you're a US supporter. They've got 1 goal from it, could have had a second there.
Yeah, Ryan, the same as Biondolo in the first half. They're too free for me in the box. I think we need to be checking our shoulders and just getting tighter.
2 nice
when
touches there from Mustaki, dug out by Carusa. Toland. Moultrie, that one a little loose. Noonan battling with 3 white shirts around her. McKeown. Well read by Mustaki to step in. Hayes to go direct. McKeown backpedaling, gets her head to it. Here's Moultrie. Tried to take a little bit too much out of it. And now Emily Murphy has popped up through the middle. Emily Murphy into the penalty area, needs some support now. Noonan. Oh, tried to link up with Carusa, breaks for Shiva. Stapleton. He's going to swing in the cross around the back towards Murphy, who attacked it with vigour. Final touch off Sam's out for a corner.
Big opportunity for Ireland here, Des.
And Emily Murphy coming to life in the last 5 minutes or so. Taking the responsibility on herself at the age of 21 to drive this Irish side forward, attacked it bravely. Clash of heads then at the end of it. Opened her account with that big late winner in Istanbul and followed up with a player of the match performance against Slovenia, Emily Murphy.
Direct, powerful runner when she can get on the ball, and it was a great little round the corner ball for Ciara Carusa. And then just Stapleton with the ball to the back post, and Emily Murphy bravely attacks it.
I'd say the right option from Stapleton as well. Get it in the box, 2 players to hit in there.
Absolutely, especially with Carusa and Noonan attacking the box.
Sam's discussing the finer point of it being awarded as a corner, I think, with Anna Patton.
I do think it came off Emily Murphy's head, but we'll take it.
Well, this would be smash and grab, wouldn't it? Hayes is forward, already a couple of international goals for her, 3 for Anna Patton, a couple for Jessie Stapleton. Mustaki, can she land one on the money here? Crowded penalty area, great delivery as well. Headed away by Jordan Bug. Shiva, hunted down by Biondolo. The ball in is from Caitlin Hayes edge of the penalty area. Still with Hayes. Larkin. Shiva. Ireland committing bodies forward. Hayes just couldn't get the touch. And the offside flag up anyway. But a little flurry that Ireland needed. And the target now will be half-time. A goal down, had to work really hard defensively here.
Yeah, I think if we can get into half-time 1-0 down and regroup. It's one better than Friday anyway, Des.
Yeah, 4 goals, split 2 in each half. In Colorado, that's a loose one from McKeown, and Murphy's onto it again. Saoirse Noonan has a chance to put Carusa in down the right-hand side. Carusa! Well, the pressure came late to make it not the easiest of finishes, but much, much better from the Republic of Ireland here, seizing on that loose pass out from the back.
Yeah, Emily Murphy does brilliant, does she? And a lovely weighted pass by Noonan, and Ciara Carusa just fails to hit the target. Much, much better. Emily Murphy's really came to light, just pounced on that loose pass.
You could see Mandy McGlynn, who's had nothing to do so far, looking a little concerned as the ball headed towards that near post. Little moments like that will give Ireland that little bit of extra energy as they go back into defensive mode again here. Thinking there might be a goal. Ireland have only ever scored once in 16 previous meetings with the US. So that would be a milestone in itself, were they to find one tonight.
Absolutely, Des, that's probably the best chance we've created over the last 2 games. So that's a positive going into half-time. Lifted
over Murphy's head out to Rodriguez on that far side. Bug. Now Sams. Sears, one of the standout US operators in this first half, but couldn't link up with Biondolo there.
Yeah, Marissa Shiva covered the run well from the holding midfield position. She's seen it coming when Chloe Mistaki got pulled out to press the ball.
Roslin goes short. Hayes, Mustaki. And look how quickly the US are about them though. Meza almost wriggled away from Shiva. Oh, this is going to break for Biondolo. Moultrie, who packs quite a punch. Didn't take the shot on though. Biondolo spots the gap outside. Rodriguez. Moultrie on the move again. Delivery towards the back post, and Abby Larkin did well. Gets back in there. And Shepherd's Bethune away from the ball and allows Brosnan to take. Inside the last 5, but maybe a little to be added on with the water break. Yasmin Ryan takes her eye off it. Manages to nick it back off Emily Murphy, and now striding purposely towards that penalty area. Good block from Toland. Moultrie, touched by Bethune, headed away by Shiva. Moultrie again. Bethune, Moultrie. Space at a premium. No, it breaks here. Big save from Brosnan, but the rebound turned in. Sears denied. It looks like it's Izzy Rodriguez who was on the spot on her debut to fire in the second. Well, how it fell for Sears in there. Even she seemed a little surprised. Plenty of power in her efforts. Parried away by Brosnan. And it fell kindly for the US. Moultrie again, just picking the passes. Finding space. Mustaki had tucked in, good save from Brosnan. And then the goal gaping for Issy Rodriguez, and what a way to mark your debut.
Rodriguez on her debut, and I think it's one of them that Sears get a little bit lucky. It just comes through her leg, and Rodriguez is first to pounce on it with a clean strike. Unfortunate for Ireland, bit of a sucker punch now, just leading into half time after our little glimpse of play where we got up, we got a corner, we got a chance.
It's almost like Denver all over again. Coffey's goal late in the first half there to make it 2-0. And now Rodriguez here. And the positive in the first half, there have been glimpses of Ireland as an attacking threat. Emily Murphy at the heart of most of it. But here we go, the US down their right-hand side again with Sears. Pass a little wayward as she tried to find Emily Sams. Jordan Bug, Tara McKeown, Moultrie, Bethune, Sears pulled back towards the edge. Tolan got there and got a toe to it. Carusa completing the clearance. Look forward, and Sams will give chase here and keep the pressure on Ireland. Nowhere to go for Chloe Mustaki, but out of play.
Yeah, tough shift for Chloe Mustaki. I think they've been relentless down this right-hand side. I think with Thompson on the left wing the other night, they were relentless down our right-hand side, and been a tough task for Chloe Mustaki. But anytime she's got inside the box, she's defended really, really well. But sometimes just outnumbered down our left-hand side.
Name checked by the manager after the first game, Chloe Mustaki. Carla Ward very happy with her performance there.
Yeah, and it's great to see her back. I think she's had a tough time for injury, and I think it shows just her resilience and her character.
Back-to-back starts, having not started for Ireland in 3 years, up to Thursday. Croy Bethune. Oh, lovely little bit of skill. And then a collision with Shiva left her appealing for a penalty. Referee not interested.
No chance, get up. Wonder if we'll see any changes at half-time, Des. Fresh legs. It's obviously energy sapping out there.
In contrast to the US, who made 11 changes, Carla Ward made just 4 to her starting 11. Came here without the likes of Katie McCabe, Aoife Mannion, Heather Payne, Leanne Kiernan, Jamie Finn, Lily Agg, Jess Zhu, and then lost Megan Campbell and Denise O'Sullivan to injuries. And a particularly tough one, Denise O'Sullivan, given she is one of the stars of the NWSL and would have captained the side.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was a game Denise was looking for, so it's just unfortunate for her. She's not out on the pitch.
Just a player as well who makes the right decisions, so would have been able to control things to a certain extent, albeit Ireland not with much possession.
Absolutely, Des. We know how good she is on the ball, how much energy she even has off the ball, and her closing down and her pressing.
That's positive from Larkin, but just the pass picked off by Meza. Fluids will be needed at half-time, the ice towels, whatever they've got handy, the Irish medical staff. On first time by McKeown, then Ryan, and now Meza. Rodriguez. Shattered by Stapleton. Meza again. That midfield pair, young and all as it is, Meza 23, Moultrie 19.
I've been very
good
impressed with
controlling
Moultrie.
influence.
I think she's ran the show in midfield, just really controlled things.
Well, just 2 additional minutes at the end of the half. A half that started and ended well for the US in terms of the goals. Lynn Biondolo pouncing for her 25th. The most experienced player on the pitch for the US. Volleying in a beautiful opener after great service from Emma Sears down the right-hand side. And then late on, well, Courtney Brosnan's save fell kindly for Izzy Rodriguez, who marked her debut with the second for Emma Hayes' side. They'll take the lead, as they did on Thursday in Colorado, of 2-0 into the break. And we'll expect changes aplenty in the second half in the heat of Cincinnati, Ohio. At half-time here, though, as we head to a break, we'll do so on a scoreline of the USA 2, the Republic of Ireland 0.
Well, it's been a tough first half for Ireland. They're trailing the USA by 2-0. Karen, when it started, it didn't go to plan from the off, did it?
No, we were hoping that we could kind of grow into the game and keep things tight for the first 15-20 minutes, but 10 minutes into the game, the USA put a great move together and, you know, got a goal that they probably did deserve. They've had a lot of joy down the right-hand side. They've been very, very bright in these areas. This is just, it's slick, one-touch pass, and the movement is fantastic. Sears gets in behind. Again, the centre-back's not over quick enough to close it down, but I don't think you can take anything away from this goal. It's brilliant play by them, and this pinpoint cross by Sears and a brilliant finish by Biondolo, who was involved in the move from the start. She got herself into the box. She showed that kind of pace. It wasn't dissimilar to what Coffey did on Friday night. You know, they're very willing runners from deep positions, and we're struggling to keep up with them. They're very, very dynamic, and it's not an easy job, but you know, it comes from tiredness, losing these runners off the shoulders, and sometimes we're a bit guilty of that in the box. We get behind the ball as opposed to going to the player and putting pressure on, but like I said, you can't take away from a move like that. It was fantastic.
Rihanna, I think here in studio we were hoping that we'd be heading to the break with just a goal to try and get back, but unfortunately the USA had other ideas.
Yeah, I think the second goal is completely different to the first. We spoke about how good a play it was for the first goal. I think Ireland will be a little bit disappointed. I think you can see we've got numbers in and around the ball, but we just get a little bit mixed up and a little bit confused with the movement. I don't think Courtney Brosnan could have done any better there. Point blank save, she does really well, and just a great finish in the end. But you can see here there's just a mix up in the middle in the box, and players swapping positions, and we tend to follow, and we're not aware of the space behind us. Couldn't see it there, but Caitlin Hayes steps out at a key moment, and a bit fortunate when the initial ball drops, but a great finish. But as I said, Ireland would definitely be disappointed with the manner they conceded in that goal, and it would be different going in 1-0 down as opposed to 2 as well.
Yeah, Karen, there were some moments though, they were fleeting, but there were some positives that maybe they can build on in the second half.
Yeah, look, they are few and far between, and it's an energy-sapping game, so when we get into the higher positions, you do want to make the most of it. Emily Murphy, very brave getting up to this cross. It was probably the first time Jessie Stapleton entered into, or any of her fullbacks entered into the opposition half. This is a really good move. Again, Emily Murphy very central to it. Saoirse drops steep and puts a good ball through, and Carusa, again, it's good to see her getting up into those higher positions. That's kind of where we want her. She is a striker by trade, so we want to be getting her into the box. But again, the USA, they were strong in the tackle. They were well able to cover the ground and put her under enough pressure to put her off. Yeah, fleeting moments, but something that you kind of hang on to in games like this. And I think counter-attack on the break is the best way to go about it. I don't think we're going to be playing through the USA in any way. So they're the type of chances we would expect if we are to get any more.
We've mentioned the conditions, and it is really difficult out there. The Ireland team are under pressure all of the time, and at times, because of this, Rihanna, the decision-making probably hasn't been perfect.
Yeah, it's continuous. Obviously, we knew coming into this that the US were going to have a lot of possession, and we've spoken about when we do have possession of the ball, we need to be better and we need to not play ourselves into trouble, and that's exactly what we do here. We turn the ball over in our defensive third, and all of a sudden we've got 3 US coming in and attacking the box. And similar here, you can see Caitlin Hayes isn't happy with the options in front of her, and she's letting them go, but by doing that she's put Anna Patton into a difficult position, and we just turn the ball over too sloppily, and we're just fortunate enough that they haven't punished us in those situations. And here, that Emily Murphy one, it's so similar to the one where Saoirse Noonan slipped in Ciara Carusa, and it's just the timing of the pass and deciding when to play it, and that's the difference. It's like when the US get into those situations, their ball's around the corner, they're sharp, they're precise, and they get in behind the Irish backline, which force us to retreat to goal, and then they've just got runners coming in at all angles.
Look, they are the best team in the world, and they are in season as well. It's going to be a tough second half for Ireland. We'll have that after these. Lots more football to come over the summer in the UEFA Champions League qualifier. You can watch the first leg of the All-Ireland battle between Shelbourne and Linfield next Wednesday. Coverage begins at 7:15 on RTÉ2 and The Player. And the Women's Euros kick off next Wednesday with a double-header. The opening game sees Iceland take on Finland, and that's followed by Switzerland and Norway. Coverage begins at 4:30 p.m. and you can watch every game of the tournament live on RTÉ and the RTÉ Player. Welcome back. There's a big second half to come from Ireland in Cincinnati. Rihanna, what can they do? What can Carla Ward do to try and limit what happened in the first half?
I think it's very important that we keep the energy up. I think obviously as it gets later into the half, you're going to see some tired bodies. So it's important that we try and limit them and keep them kind of away from our goal. I think that's going to be key, especially for the first 15, 20 minutes of the second half.
Carla Ward has mentioned that she needs bodies to come on and to try and keep going for the full 90. Does she have people there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be game changers that are going to go out and score 3 goals and have a turnaround of that sort. But like you say, you want to keep it respectable. You want to do damage limitation, and you want to come out of this trip feeling like you've something to build from. So getting more game time, to see the likes of Hayley Nolan coming on there. It's been a while since we've seen her out on the pitch, so good to get game time into these kind of girls. Okay, well, let's see what that second half brings and rejoin Anya and Des.
Thank you, Marie. Well, what it brings from an Irish perspective is a triple half-time change. We've got Megan Connolly, Lucy Quinn and Hayley Nolan coming on for this second half. For Hayley Nolan from Kildare, on for her 4th cap and her first since featuring against the US when the nations last met back in 2023 in St. Louis, Missouri. So she has come on in what looks like a right-wing back row.
Yeah, Des, it looks like Ireland are going to a back 3, back 5, whatever might like to call it. Hayley Nolan comes into that right wing back position.
So it's Jessie Stapleton right at that back 3, Anna Patton in the middle, Caitlin Hayes on the left. And Hayley Nolan straight into the action here. Had a spell in the US with the University of Hartford and then went on to play for Connecticut Fusion before heading to England. Meza, who has just settled so seamlessly into a senior international debut in the middle of that US midfield. And Carusa right up top here as Noonan was in battling for that ball, and good pressure from Ciara Carusa. So let's see how Ireland settle into this system now. Certainly what these games are useful for, having a little look at something a little bit different.
Yeah, well, Des, I think we've got our most success as a team going to the World Cup. Look at the victory in Parc les Cuivres against France, playing in this formation. I think it suits the personnel we have. We don't have, like Karen said, we need full-backs. I always happen to be Gary Neville, but Jess Stapleton, I think, naturally is better central. We have Anna Patton, Caitlin Hayes, top central defenders.
Yeah, think back to Glasgow, that famous night in Glasgow. Fahey, Quinn and Caldwell. And Anya. Megan Connolly on to this second half as well. We saw her in a back three at the World Cup in Australia, New Zealand. Here is Hayes. Ball into Toland, whose touch just deserts her there.
Looks like Lucy Quinn's playing that left back, wing back position with Megan Connolly, Marissa Shiva and Tyler Toland as a flat three in midfield.
And that allows two strikers up top, so Carusa
and Noonan.
A little more advanced now with Saoirse Noonan. Offside flag up on the far side. Stapleton. Big few weeks coming up for Jessie Stapleton in terms of West Ham. After going out on loan last season, doing so well. An attack by Meza. Bug. Very calmly done by the 18-year-old. Youngest player in this US squad at the moment. You might often see the younger players on you when they come in for their debut, particularly that young, maybe playing the full-back position, but Bug right in there.
Yeah, and Bug, she can play full-back at times as well, but yeah, it just shows, I suppose, the maturity at her age, and I think the same as with Moultrie in midfield as well. They have like that experienced head on young shoulders.
McKeown, Ryan and Moultrie. Oh, it's a fabulous ball. Rodriguez cross towards the back post and a volley again from Biondolo. But Moultrie has picked some passes in this one.
Yeah, she's orchestrating everything in there, Des, isn't she? Just controlling the game.
No way forward for Rodriguez this time. Solid challenge from Hayley Nolan. Rolled out by Mandy McGlynn. And Bug for McKeown. The NWSL has reached the halfway point of its season. Kansas City Current out on top. It's been a good few winners in the last few years. A little bit of variety in terms of who has come out on top.
Yeah, it's a competitive league, Des, and I think ultimately that benefits the national team.
Rodriguez, that's come off Connolly, who had a great college career in the US. Megan Connolly at Florida State. McKeown whips it back to her goalkeeper. Sams. Sears, a bit more conservative this time. Lovely touch from Meza again. Ward has made no secret of the fact the aim is to make it to Brazil in 2027. World Cup qualifiers begin next year. That's a lovely ball in behind. Brosnan advanced. And then made the right decision in retreating. Patton's touch was loose. Biondolo tried to square it across to Yasmin Ryan. At the end of it all, it's US corner.
Yeah, and again, it comes from our throw-in, doesn't it? We don't retain possession. It's a great little curling ball, and Biondolo, the willing runner in behind, and Courtney Brosnan just backtracks to clear it, and Anna Patton gets stuck under her feet, and the US win themselves a corner kick.
Good recovery from Marissa Shiva to get back in there. Left-footed set-piece delivery, unable to work its way beyond Lucy Quinn. Taken in by Sams. Who goes again, tracked by Shiva. Who does her defensive bit once more. Meza. Sams having to come all the way out here to Tara McKeown. Jordan Bug. Well protected by Sams. Moultrie. And staying defensively solid, forcing the US back again. Start again with McKeown. It's a different dynamic for the US just to face here. Ireland with 2 up top now. And can they make best use of them? Sears looking to exploit any gaps there might be. Left-footed cross this time. Headed away by Stapleton. Pieces picked up by Bethune. Izzy Rodriguez. Nolan in the way, but she's outnumbered 3-1. McKeown driving on. There's the pull back and will come to the edge. Bethune couldn't finish. Oh, set up beautifully for her. US will stay on the offensive here. Bethune. Out to that right-hand side, and Bethune goes again. You could see the idea. And she appreciates the intent, if not quite the execution of the pass.
Down the line, and it's a good pullback. And Tuna, we just get bodies in the box, bodies in the way, and I think it's Lucy Quinn who gets the final block on it.
Brosnan charged down. Fortunate that didn't ricochet in another direction. Hayley Nolan squeezed by Ryan. The Republic of Ireland throw it. Hooked on by Toland. Meza. Protected the ball well, Moultrie. Excellent from her once again. Parents actually took her to Europe when she was young to train over there, and there were suggestions maybe of a move to Lyon before she ended up with the Portland Thorns. Looks to have a huge future ahead of her. Unlucky not to score in Denver, Olivia Moultrie. She has pretty much run the show here. Biondolo shows for it. Here is Moultrie, and wins the throw-in.
Ireland in this shape, I think, are nullifying spaces better in the wide areas that we talked about in the first half. But now it's like when we get the ball, can we get it up to our front two?
Hayes pressurising the US, working neat triangles over there. Coming out to space. And Jordan Bug, how calmly done was that?
Yeah, but we're forcing the ball back again. Des, and they're back in their own half.
McKeown. Ryan. Pushed back by Stapleton. McKeown again. Lucy Quinn gets a toe in. Biondolo. It's looking for Bethune. Patton steps across and diffuses the danger.
Around the 60-minute mark, I think Des will probably see the US starting to empty their bench. More substitutions for Ireland as well. I'd like to see a runner up top. Keir Cruz and Saoirse Noonan tend to be better holding up the play, so maybe we need a runner off them, but we need to get the ball up there first.
The first job here is to defend this corner. Considerable presence of Emma Sears in and around Courtney Brosnan. In swinger again, headed away by Megan Connolly. Rodriguez. Moultrie. Worked out by Meza. Emily Sams. Lucy Quinn has just been caught here. Another cross for Ireland to defend. It's Stapleton to head it. Shiva edge of the penalty area. Breaks back the way of the US again. Sams and Sears combining again down that right-hand side. Sams into the penalty area. Just lost her footing. Still a shooting chance there, and Brosnan sees it up and over her crossbar. She's been amongst the goals for Racing Louisville. Fancied one there, Emma Sears. Tied up the target, just got a little underneath it.
Yeah, Sears has been very good down that right-hand side. This time she chooses to come in and take a shot on her left foot.
Amber Barrett is into the fray. The recent Nations League worked out quite well for Amber Barrett. She was always, well, more often than not, cast in the role of the striker coming off the bench, but got the chance to make a few starts with Carusa having a little injury. Made the most of her opportunities as well. The goals home and away against Greece. Lucy Quinn doesn't want to lose it there, and didn't. And Shiva wins the throw-in. Ball inside towards Megan Connolly. Moultrie steps into it, and Moultrie lets fly. Well, she hasn't done much wrong tonight, but she'd love that chance back again, I'm sure.
Yeah, great opportunity for Moultrie, but then I think we handed it to where it comes from our throw-in. Like a lot of the US attacks, throw it in Marissa Shiva, back to Caitlin Hayes. It's a loose ball into midfield, and then fortunately Moultrie fails to hit the target.
Had the chance as well, if she saw her, to just slip in Yasmin Ryan. Hayley Nolan. Almost got that one right, but McKeown sharp and then clattered by Jessie Stapleton. Ball first, but then plenty of McKeown as well. Now Ireland switching off here. There's at least a 2, if not a 3-on-1 down the left-hand side. Yasmin Ryan, it's not a good cross though. That promising position comes to nothing.
Yeah, fortunately, because when you got caught Friday night for the first goal, switching off from a corner.
Emily Sonnet and Rose Lavelle must be looking around this squad at the moment and thinking, how young are these? And we're going to see another young star, 21-year-old Ali Sentnor, along with Sam Coffey, who made herself a fixture in this US team last year. Sam Coffey, two of those very impressive when the sides met a few days ago. Sentnor, the former under-20 captain. Room out on that right-hand side. Lucy Quinn doing her utmost to get back. And she did. She's given away the free kick, but mightn't be the worst foul in the world in the circumstances.
Yeah, it's a good foul, and again, I think we get caught. I think the ball goes up top and it just comes loose in midfield and we're exposed.
It's that tricky one, I guess, in a wing-back position where And you think you have your side has the ball and you want to start pushing on, and it gets turned over. Got to try and get back in. Huge ovation for Lynn Biondolo, captain for the night. Did her job, had her moment early on with a lovely volleyed finish for the opening goal 10 minutes in. And she departs to a huge ovation. Sam Coffey in for her 37th cap, one of the Olympic gold medal winners. And as much as there's a big cheer for her, there will be one for Ali Sentnor as well. Only made her debut last November in a 0-0 draw at Wembley, but it was the She Believes Cup at the start of this year when the goals started coming. 4 in 10 caps in the infancy of her senior career. A definite talent. Now 3 taking an interest in this free kick, and they've set up their own wall in front of the Irish wall here to try and obscure Courtney Brosnan's view. And now Moultrie strikes it, and Brosnan, alert, got down well, low at her left-hand post. Ryan clipped back in by McKeown, awkward for Hayley Nolan. Coffey gets her first touch. Moultrie. Oh, this sits nicely here for Tara McKeown. Excellent from Caitlin Hayes. Stepped out, put herself between that and the goal. And a deep cross will run harmlessly dead. Courtney Brosnan, a couple of really good saves in Denver. And that was on target.
Yeah, Courtney seen it late. I think the wall did its job in front of the Irish wall. They just split.
Moultrie already has a couple of goals in their previous 8 senior caps. Couldn't quite find a third there. Some of these young American players wouldn't have witnessed the inaugural 1991 World Cup win, or 99. Memories of 2015 and 2019. That's the big target come Brazil. Sentnor, her first touch is so good. That was a lovely little setup for Sears to cross again from the right-hand side. And that's good work up top, drawing the foul from Tara McKeown. And Ireland looking to go quickly towards Barrett, who is offside. Mahan and Carla Ward in consultation, maybe about further changes or how well this change of system is working for them.
Yeah, defensively it's better, Des, but I think sometimes we're still overplaying now. I think we can just set it and deliver it forward. Now we've got Amber Barrett running, Keir Cruz can hold the ball up.
Oh, terrific from Coffey. Poise and power. And another cross maybe come from that right-hand side. Moultrie. Tight angle, the pullback for Yasmin Ryan, who sweeps it in. And that is her first senior international goal, clinically finished. But when they go up those gears, they carry a threat. Goal number 3. Adding to those of Biondolo and Rodriguez, Yasmin Ryan. But Coffey showing exactly what she's about in that midfield.
Yeah, Coffey driving through into Ryan. Sears doesn't give up, you know, I think. And then they just change the tempo, change the tact. Moultrie's back, and it's a great finish. Bottom corner, drilled in. Courtney sees it late, and there's not much she can do about it.
And Sears has been terrific down the right-hand side, but again, you look at Moultrie, for one so young, drives into the box, knew exactly the player she was picking out as Ireland were dropping. Yasmin Ryan in the perfect position and a lovely finish. And the US by 3 goals to 0.
Maltese makes it look easy. She just finds them spaces. But again, similar to the first goal, I think we can be a yard closer to the players who are in the box. We have the numbers in there now with the 3 across the middle.
And that's where Ireland have had an issue. Any ball put into those areas, the pressure is instant. Tyler Tolan couldn't get it under control and away quickly enough. McKeown into Coffey. He's threatening to set off with another one of those runs. Good challenge from Megan Connolly to prevent her from doing so. Bug. And Sams. Amber Barrett pressurising. The US keep that ball moving. McKeown. Lifts it down into the run of Rodriguez here. Deep cross towards the back, and the header coming in from Moultrie, who's still chasing her goal. Met it with power, but the placement just lacking straight at Courtney Brosnan. The fresh legs maybe just lifting the US again.
Like for like, if not even better on the bench.
Emma Hayes maybe just picking her moment to bring Rose Lavelle in and certainly lift the crowd. But playing the US on US soil, not many teams will get a victory. I think it's now 4 defeats in their last 68 home games. A couple this year, Japan and Brazil, but that was with Emma Hayes really shaking things up in terms of her squad. Good record since she's come in. This her 24th game, on course for a 20th win. A couple of draws, a couple of defeats. Second yellow card of the evening. This one goes to Izzy Rodriguez, who now has done a little bit of everything on her debut.
Goal and a yellow card.
We said if you're coming in making your debut, you've got to make your mark, and she's done that. Definitely late on Hayley Nolan, who felt the full effect of it. Megan Connolly on her way. The US holding a very high line here. Tara McKeown organising. Got to put a pick on this one, Megan Connolly. And looking to do so, landed it straight into the hands of Mandy McGlynn. And with Ireland with a lot of bodies up the pitch, Yasmeen Ryan looking to show her pace. She's gone beyond Nolan. The pass is beautifully weighted. And Sears just overran it. The first touch let her down. Almost end to end as the US hunt their fourth.
Yeah, quick counter-attack from the USA, and Ireland are a little bit exposed. Hayley Nolan trying to get back. Ryan just drives inside. You can see the pace and power. And Sears just with a heavy touch.
And Brosnan now sharply at her feet. And let's have a look at this Yasmeen Ryan goal again that made it 3.
Great little finish, bottom corner, drills it in. But again, I think we need to step to her. I think we're too interested in defending straight across the box that we need to be aware of where our players are. And that's 2 goals if you can see it from that tonight.
You can see the strain showing on some of the Republic of Ireland faces.
Yeah, it's a tough shift, Des. Back-to-back games against the USA, the heat, the conditions. I have to kind of question, is it the right game for us to be playing in the phase that we're at? And off the back of probably the Wales game. For me, I'd be looking to play more similar teams that are in and around ranked the same as us. I think that's probably a better experience and a better learning environment for us. On the other hand, you have to challenge yourself against the best teams in the world, but is it a fair opportunity for some of the players in the fringes?
Carla Ward saying these camps are for building and for learning. How much can you take out of games like this against the top two in difficult conditions?
Not a lot for me, Des. I think the learning for us comes, I think we played League A against, we talk about France, England, Sweden, then we go to League B where we're quite dominant, so it's them in between games that I think that they're the games that we're learning and growing.
Teammate of yours coming on, Rusha Littlejohn.
Yeah, look.
Are you texting her about Saturday's results, Ian? You don't need her?
Yeah, look, it's good. Obviously, we know Rusha can retain the ball and retain possession. She's had her injury difficulty, so it's good to see her getting back on.
Naomi Girma leading the chance.
Doesn't look like Roosevelt's getting ready to come on anytime soon, Des.
Just a lap of honour maybe at the end. That will have to do. Maybe they're keeping her wrapped up for Canada and Washington on Wednesday. Lynn Biondolo's goal saw her join Rose Lavelle on 25 international goals now. Still some way behind Abby Wambach's 184.
Serious. I think Abby Wambach played in the first game I ever played against USA. I never seen anything like it. Here's Rose Lavelle.
I hope she's not just getting tape for her socks now or something.
She'll get 10 minutes. Not the sort of player I'd like to see coming on though.
Well, Emma Hayes will certainly take plenty out of this international window. Another couple of debuts tonight. First senior start for Jordan Bugg, who looks very, very comfortable. And you look at Naomi Girma at 25 and you think of the impact she made coming through, starting alongside Julie Ertz in the 2023 World Cup. And standing at the Olympics last year, Ireland's defensive line is, it looked a little misshapen, but the flag does go up against the run of Centenor.
Yeah, it looked like a fine line that Megan Connolly might have been keeping her on, but thankfully not.
She's also going to need about 100 replica jerseys to be handing out at the end of this, I think. Just shows the status she's held in, though. In the US women's soccer history, a lot of iconic players. But Rose Lavelle, particularly after what she did in 2019, that's really the breakthrough star of that tournament, the goal in the final to clinch it against the Netherlands. And just her style of game as well.
Yeah, I think she's a player that offered them something different in that moment. There's a lot of pace and power, but she's that creative, that spark.
Coffee. And when the European players come back, what a job for Emma Hayes to pick her starting 11.
What a luxury to have, Des.
For Ireland, as we mentioned, it's beyond this, eyes on Belgium. And that is going to be a very interesting two-legged tie. First leg at the Aviva. Those games coming up in October. Chance for Ireland to get back to the top tier of the Nations League. And Belgium in a very tough group in the upcoming Euros. And a few standout players in that squad as well. Lucy Quinn blocks the cross and might have to do so again. Sears still fancying her chances down that right-hand side. Edge of the box is Meza. Rolled onto Moultrie. He's going to have another go. Left-footed this time. Charged down by Hayes.
She's dying
This
for
is
that
picked
goal.
up by Littlejohn. And Nolan under pressure does well to win the throw-in. seen Rusha Littlejohn come on. In terms of the domestically based players, Ellen Malloy is in the squad as well. We haven't seen her yet. Izzy Atkinson got a few minutes off the bench in Denver, as did Erin Healy. And Courtney Brosnan has played full minutes. McKeown, very calmly done. Good pressure on Ryan though. Charge led by Stapleton. Littlejohn. Oh, just dwelt it too long. Pocket picked by Ryan. And the break is on here. Megan Connolly trying to get back. Sears went early. Offside flag up again. It was a real chance, that.
Yeah, Jess Stapleton did well. Obviously stepped out of that right-sided centre-back position to push on and squeeze them in and won the ball back. But you can just see how exposed we are then when we lose the ball in them areas.
Claire Hutton. And is that Alyssa Thompson? Tired legs. That's maybe not what you want to see.
Your hamstring will be definitely gone now, Des.
Just trying to check how many changes they've made and if there will be enough for a Lavelle appearance. Brosnan gets plenty on that one, met by the head of McKeown. The neutrals will certainly want to see Alyssa Thompson on, and the US fans electric in the first game. Fabulous goal. Sears, Quinn trying to check her momentum, and Megan Connolly using her defensive experience to read that pass. Here's Coffey. Crosses too much on that one and claimed by Brosnan. I think she might look for a little bit of treatment here, Courtney Brosnan. Chance for a breather for some of her teammates.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just get some water on board to try see out this last 10 minutes.
So the US will have a chance to make that double change. Claire Hutton, another 19-year-old. She is of the leaders, Kansas City Current, coming in for her 5th cap. And Alyssa Thompson for her 21st at the age of 20.
Yeah, it's not a player you want to see coming on the last 10 minutes of a game.
Moultrie's gone off. She was fantastic while she was out there.
Yeah, top quality. I think she's probably the best player in the pitch, along with Sears, maybe down that right-hand side. She just controlled the game, orchestrated everything, linked up that defence to attack. And towards the end of the game, you could see her driving forward, trying to get herself a goal.
So 10 plus remaining at the TQL Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. At the end of the season, closing in for the majority of these Irish players. And a well-earned break to come after that. A few players as well in that position now, finishing up with clubs, and they'll be looking to move on to pastures new.
Absolutely, Des, and they'll be keen to get themselves sorted before pre-season.
And important for everyone in terms of how Carla Ward is looking at them, that they're playing regular football and playing at as high a level as possible.
Yeah, that's it, Des. I think that's key, just game time for these players, especially the younger players trying to come through, that they're getting adequate game time to give themselves a chance of getting into the team.
And you want to land into those playoffs and beyond that, the World Cup qualifiers, with a fit and healthy squad, with the leaders in particular ready to go again. Katie McCabe, Denise O'Sullivan. Huge cheer for Alyssa Thompson as her arrival is announced. Coffey. That's a beautiful ball out to that right-hand side. Lucy Quinn trying to get back at Sears again. Sears look for the full-back this time. Shiva. As I look up, only Amber Barrett up there. Coffey again. McKeown. Already see the influence Sam Coffey has on this team as soon as she comes on the pitch. Thompson looking to set off, and Ireland forewarned from Colorado. Not letting her get through that gap by fair means or foul. One of the camera people has been handed one assignment tonight. We know what that is. Here comes Izzy Atkinson, who I think has finished up now at Crystal Palace and will be moving on. She's going to replace Tyler Toland. Might involve a little bit of a reshuffle. Atkinson from Rush on for cap number 20. And that is the 6 Ireland changes made. Rodriguez hangs it up towards the back, and there might be a fourth here. Brosnan alert. Well, that was really well struck by Emily Sams. And deep ball from Rodriguez. US won the first header and then it fell. And it was a good effort from Sams. Bug on the follow-up. And good goalkeeping from Courtney Brosnan. Got those hands up early.
Yeah, she backpedaled well, got set, and a good strong save from Courtney Brosnan.
A crowd of just over 24,000 for this game. And they're looking at another US victory here as they roll on under Emma Hayes. Canada certainly set to offer them a challenge. Always a feisty one, that. And for Emma Hayes, it is all about the World Cup in 2 years' time. And Jill Ellis had 5 years in charge, back-to-back World Cups, 2015 and 19, and then it was Vlatko Andonovski who came in as the nation's 9th manager in succeeding Ellis. Hayes, a big personality, a big talent. Here's a ball in for Thompson. And that is how you finish. Only on the pitch a matter of minutes. Well, she had 1 goal in 19 caps prior to facing the Republic of Ireland. It's 2 in a matter of days now to take her to 3. And that is a flashing finish. Kept her run on side, got goal side of Stapleton. Brilliant first touch. And the second to follow. And once again, it is the US 4, the Republic of Ireland 0.
Yeah, and maybe just a little bit of fatigue. Ireland didn't manage to keep the line. Caitlin Hayes keeps Thompson on side, gets the wrong side of Jess Stapleton. We can't fault Alicia Thompson. Great touch. Powers it into the bottom corner.
And the celebrations continue with the eventual arrival with 4 minutes to go of Rose Lavelle. On for her 112th cap. The darling of the hometown crowd.
I think I would have wanted more than 4 minutes if I was Rose Lavelle, but better than none, I suppose, Des.
Yeah, I think she's definitely starting come Wednesday. And Alyssa Thompson, you'd imagine, will be as well. First in the draft pick of 2023. 5 goals and 13 league appearances for Angel City this season, where she plays with her sister Giselle. Lavelle straight into the action. Oh, and Sears has done the same thing again. Twice she's been played in, and twice the touch, that first touch, too heavy and has cost her a goal, or at least a better chance at one. A weary looking Ireland having to dig in here to limit the damage. The ball has been turned over again. Lavelle stepping forward. Lining up the headlines with that one.
Yeah, Ireland have opened up a little bit over the last few minutes. Just their wing backs are getting caught high, and their back three are just getting a little bit exposed from the fresh legs and the willing runners of the US.
I think Lavelle herself would have fancied a few more minutes, not just because it's in Cincinnati, but she's only played about 75 minutes of club football for Gotham since ankle surgery last December. So still feeling her way back in, you would think, to full fitness, or at least full match sharpness. Hutton. And look at that calmness again from Bug. Doesn't panic at the age of 18. Sears. And Sentnor's on the move. Connolly clear to the edge. Up in the air from Stapleton. Thompson. As Rodriguez in support. Coffey. Hutton. Sentnor. Just bundled over by Hayes. A ball whipped into Ali Sentnor, who got it under her spell fairly quickly. And a dangerous position here now for Ireland and Courtney Brosnan. Could Lavelle finish the game with the fairy tale story goal? No shortage of would-be takers. And the home fans giving a massive build-up to this free kick. Sentnor will leave it to Lavelle, straight into that defensive wall, which stood firm. And now Amber Barrett might have to do this all on her own. Cover got across quickly and some attention required here. Hayley Nolan took the full force of that free kick.
Yeah, Des, the wall's so strong, and I think Hayley Nolan's taking the brunt of that, and hopefully she's just winded.
Back to her feet, no lasting damage done as we head into stoppage time in Cincinnati. And the US continue to hold sway over the Republic of Ireland. And have won it again tonight quite comfortably. Barrett, good foot in from Bug. And the referee has decided that that will do. So on the double, 4-0 US victories in Denver, Colorado and Cincinnati, Ohio, and the cherry on top coming from one of their real young superstars, Alyssa Thompson. First half goals from Lynn Biondolo and Izzy Rodriguez on her debut, and then a first goal on her 11th cap for Yasmin Ryan, and a second in quick succession against Ireland for Alyssa Thompson, and a job done for Emma Hayes here. But for Carla Ward, what will she take out of these two?
Yeah, it's tough. It's been a tough shift for the players, especially those who have played back-to-back 90 minutes in the heat, in the conditions, against a top American side. I hope for the young people watching at home, they can admire the way America play and learn from that as well. And I think for Ireland now, we need to regroup and focus on the Belgium game and get back to full strength, and then we can really see where we're at.
So there it is for the US. Well, the youngsters laying down a marker over the last few days for Emma Hayes. The final score tonight in Cincinnati, as it was in Denver. It has ended with the US 4, the Republic of Ireland 0. Marie.
Thanks for that, Anya and Des. It was always going to be difficult. We knew that, Rihanna. But when Carla Ward went into these games, she said that she was hoping for some learning and development. What can she take away?
I think obviously we spoke at half-time about the first half that we managed to have a little bit of possession in the US territory, and I think that that's going to be important. We play these bigger oppositions to test ourselves, and that's definitely going to be important going into the playoffs in October. Players got some decent minutes, obviously coming off the back of a lot of them being out of season. You can see that they worked hard. They tried in the heat, but ultimately there's just that difference in class, and you can see that out there.
Yeah, you really could. From your perspective, Karen, were there positive, were there things that she can build? And they have those huge games against Belgium that aren't that far away.
It's hard to pick a huge amount out of them when you're playing against an opposition that are that much stronger than you, and it is a friendly at the end of the day. I suppose the fact that we transitioned into a different shape, I think we were getting, you know, they were targeting our full-back areas a lot when we were in the back four. When we transitioned to a 5, it wasn't as open. Obviously, we struggled then to get out and get up the pitch and form any sort of attack, but I think it's food for thought for Carla. I know she said she wanted to be a 4-3-3 possession-based team, but certain opposition demands different shape, especially when you're playing against someone like the USA. It won't be the same against Belgium, but look, they're a good side as well. There might be a point where we need to transition into that. So I suppose that's one takeaway. But yeah, it's very, very hard when you're getting constantly peppered. All you're doing is you're fighting for your life out there in the heat against an opposition like that. So I suppose it's character. You're really grasping for things.
Carla said it's good for culture and bonding. Is it good for culture and bonding when you're away in the USA?
I'm sure it is, but you can also do that in Dublin. You know, you could go to the escape rooms and bond or something like that. So it's a big trip. You have to try and pull positives from it, and I'm sure that's what she's going to do, and that's what she's going to go back to her players and just talk about how they competed against the best in the world, which is the USA are.
Yeah, and look, nobody there stood back and admired them either, Rihanna, and I can imagine how tempting it is, especially when you see someone like Alyssa Thompson coming off the bench. But from their point of view, do you think that the players are going to be happy enough going home, or is it going to be hard to pick up from a morale perspective?
I think as a player you're never happy when you lose, but you do have to take that game into context. As you said, it is a friendly. It is 2 friendlies against the #1 team in the world, coming off the back of a Nations League campaign where we left a bit to be desired, and we were talking about what we needed to improve on. So obviously there's some time now between the game today and the playoffs in October. I think the players are just going to be going back to their clubs, obviously starting pre-season now next week, and obviously there's a lot for them to do individually to make sure that they're in the squad for that. And I think some of them are like, they were given the opportunity, and they'll be happy with that as well.
Yeah, well, Karen, we can actually sit back and admire some of what the USA did. Let's look at some of their goals. The one that was 3-0 was a pretty spectacular one.
Yeah, from start to finish it was brilliant, and it all came from Coffey's drive there. She just ghosted past a couple of players, and then you've got Sears here chasing down. She was excellent, you know. And this drive by Moultrie into the box, and they pick out players when they're in the right position. We spoke about decision making, and they're the ones. That's what you want your forwards to do. You want them to peel off a striker, and you want your wingers to pick them out. And that's a really, really tidy finish by Ryan. And again, it was just a move that exemplified the way they play. They're direct, they're strong, they move the ball quickly, they move themselves quickly, they get numbers in the box. And again, if you're taking learnings, it's not so much what we can learn from ourselves, but we can learn a lot from the USA and how they set up and how they approach games. And a lot of their game is about physicality and speed, and they're all things that we can develop in players. And you know, obviously there's a short period of time now, but underage girls, and I think Anya mentioned in commentary, like young girls watching that, it takes you a long way in women's football when you have that kind of strength and speed and power of pace. So yeah, a lot of learnings from their side, unfortunately.
Thankfully, Alyssa Thompson didn't come on till quite late in the game. We saw what she was capable of in Colorado. Her pace is just phenomenal, but so is her touch. And when she came on, Rihanna, that goal was just sublime.
Yeah, absolutely. She took it so well. You can see the positioning that she takes up, and I think that you can see where the US are just so comfortable breaking lines, but she just creeps in off the back shoulder of Jessie Stapleton there, and I think that first touch just to set her was perfect. You can see here the run, the timing of it, the ball in behind is exceptional as well, and you see her first touch there, she doesn't even have to break stride really, just a little step to set herself, and the finish leaves Courtney with no chance, unfortunately. But we spoke about her class before the game, and obviously we seen the glimpse there in the few minutes that she was on the pitch as well.
OK, we're going to go stateside now. We're going to hear from one of the players who was playing today, Anna Patton.
Anna Patton, how difficult was that to play in?
I actually don't think words can describe it. To play with only a 2-game break in between the quality of players they have in that temperature at this time of day, to be honest, it's a bit ridiculous. But I think you can't fault anyone's effort in that. But it was pretty hard, yeah.
I'm sure for the folks back home watching on television, it doesn't look that bad, but try and describe from a player's point of view what it's like to get your breath, what it's like when you make a run.
Yeah, I feel like as soon as your heart rate gets up, it doesn't come back down because of the heat. Your body is just trying to like work hard to cool itself down, and it can't do that because the sun's just beating down on you, and along with the heat, it's extremely humid. So yeah, like there's girls that ran their arse off out there today, and I think yeah, it's credit to like the fight that we have, but it is pretty hard.
How would you compare it with the first game, the same scoreline? Was there a better Irish performance today despite the conditions?
Yeah, I think what we were better at was probably winning the ball back, but I think it was clear that we just didn't have enough options or like making the right decisions to then keep the ball in those scenarios, and I think that's something like massive that we can take when we go and play Belgium. They're another high quality team, and it's about when we do have it, what we can do with it, and when we have the ball, that's when we can get our breath, and I think it's about working on how best we can do that.
How welcome was that cold towel when you finally came off the pitch?
I had to go into the changing room and dunk myself in the ice bath. Honestly, it's so hot.
But hopefully that will stand to you in the future?
Yeah, obviously, it's like great to play this high quality of team, and like our aim is to get to Brazil and go to that World Cup. Like, who knows what the conditions will be like out there, and it's, I think, really important for us to, know what it feels like and experience it, and know how best we can prepare for future games in this sort of heat.
Are you looking forward to getting home and getting a break?
Oh my God, yeah. I have about 3 weeks until I'm expected back in for pre-season, and I think my legs will just be up for most of it.
Well, listen, well done on a great effort, and thanks for speaking to us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, they definitely deserve a break after that. Rihanna, it's probably going to be hard to tell. We won't tell for a while, really, till those Belgian games, the benefit that they will have taken from these USA games.
Yeah, obviously it's a long time before they play again. As I said, they're all going into pre-season with their clubs, and a lot can change in those couple of months in football. Football is forever changing. But it's definitely a game that will stand to them in terms of the heat, the calibre of opposition. But I think she put it very well in terms of if we want to go to Brazil, who knows, we could end up in a group with the US, and definitely to do with the weather and the conditions over there, you never know what to expect. So that's where we want to be, that's what we're aiming for, and that's what the next 2 years are going to be as well in preparation for that. So.
OK, well, we're going to head back over stateside because Tony's with Carla Ward.
Carla, in a way, I guess you're glad that it's over. 2 4-0 defeats. I mean, how do you reflect on those?
Yeah, difficult, right? Because you're playing against the best in the world, but I think overall as a camp it's been a powerful one in terms of learning and educating in various ways. But tonight was, whilst I think the performance was better, listen, they've left everything out there, and you can see there are some really, how do I put it, politically correct on TV. Some tired bodies, should I say.
How would you compare the 2 games? You mentioned there was an improvement. In what way?
I think you could see even the first half. I think we reduced them. We got more pressure on the ball. We were certainly better overall. I think second half then we started to drop off. We knew from last week that it was going to be tough, but it was tough here. We had on 22 minutes there was a couple of players asking to come off. We couldn't make those changes. Then at half time we had sadly 3 forced changes, physically fatigued, and a couple of them were safe to say unwell at half time. So had to make those changes, and again, even through the second half, players almost begging to come off, and we couldn't do anything about it. So, look, they've left everything out there and been sensational.
Does that make you question the value of these 2 games, though? Because if players were that affected and begging to come off, I mean, you have to be aware of player welfare, don't you?
Yeah, it's a lot. I've talked about it a lot, haven't I, with yourself this week and throughout, I think, my entire managerial career. I think the camp itself has been, we've learned an awful lot. There's been a lot to take away. We can't do anything about the heat, but I think you're here, right? It's dangerous. It's been quite dangerously hot out there today, and with humidity at 94, I don't think I've even felt anything like it. So we have to take the positives and the positives from the overall camp. But yeah, our job now is to try and get these girls safely home.
How big is the gulf in class? Because that was a second 11 Emma Hayes put out tonight.
Listen, their pool of players is absolutely massive, and we know that. They're the best in the world for a reason. They've probably got 100, 200 players that could all be selected. That's the reality. There's a reason why they're world number one. There's a reason why Emma was attracted to this job. And look, they selected 11, and then all of a sudden, last 20 minutes, they're bringing on people like, you know, Sam Coffey and Rose Lavelle, and you're sat there scratching your head. So, look.
Alicia Thompson.
I know. When I saw Alicia Thompson, I thought, you know, what can you do here? And I did say, what can we do? And you think in our staff group, we've got 3 head coaches here with us, and we're all scratching our heads thinking, how do we get any more out? We have this group. We couldn't at that point. You know, there was, like I said, players were on their backside, should I say, and it was tough.
Will this help the development of your players, though? The Nations League playoff, and more importantly, the World Cup campaign to come?
Yeah, for sure, because look, we've looked at 2 different systems, we've looked at 2 different ways of playing, we've added a couple of other layers to what we want to try and do. I think it's been such a positive camp overall. Naturally, these 2 games, they hurt. Of course, they're going to. That's us. We're footballers. You know, we've been in the game a long time, and you want to win football matches. But there's got to be some reality to this, right? Played the best in the world in ridiculously hot heat, something that I struggled with without even moving. And they're in season. We're not. There's lots of contributing factors. You know, we've got part-time players out there as well. So there's so much, you know, and to still compete across the 2 games, I think they can take a lot of heart. And I said to him at the end, I'm unbelievably proud of them, and everybody else should be too.
Safe home.
Thank you.
Well, that's it from us for this evening. My thanks to Rihanna and Karen for their company. The Women's Euros gets underway on Wednesday with a double header to look forward to. Do join us. Bye for now.